Hi, my name is Tanieka Vance Randall. Thank you for joining the Playtime is Over conference, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can find the purpose through the pain that you're going through. Oftentimes in life, we experience pain and we allow this to get us stuck. We stay stuck right there. And a lot of times we can't move past it because we stay so focused on the problem that we're going through instead of focusing on God's promise. So today I'm going to talk to you today about how you can move past that pain and how oftentimes those pains that happen to us in our lives, how that happens to push us into our purpose. And I'm going to share with you my story as well. So like I said, oftentimes, things happen. They happen to all of us. You're not going to live a life where everything is just so perfect. Everything always is working out fine. No, problems are going to happen. You're going to hit roadblocks. No matter what you're trying to achieve in life, if you really are trying to achieve something, you're going to realize that the harder you work sometimes, the more things come up against you. The closer you get sometimes, the more things come up against you. Sometimes you don't even realize how close you are to reaching that goal because we allow these problems to stop us. We allow this pain to stop us. We get so stuck in the pain and we don't realize that God has a promise for us. And there's a purpose for everything that you're going through. No matter how hard it may seem, no matter how you may sit up here and think, why God, why me, why is this happening to me? Like, we have to learn to get past that. So I'm going to share my own personal story with you, and then I'm going to help to encourage you to work through those things also in your life so you can reach your purpose. That is what I want for all of us. We want to reach that purpose. We want to find out what our passion is, and we want to walk in that. So for me, in 2011, I was diagnosed with leukemia. I was in nursing school at the time. Last 2 weeks, I was diagnosed with leukemia. That I could have shut down and broken down and said, God, why me? Why is this happening? Not right now, because it put my life literally on hold. But the person I was at that moment in my life, I was so into God and knowing that He had a purpose for my life, and knowing that all of these things that was happening to me, it was happening for a reason. I didn't stop. I didn't say, oh my God, what is happening? I instead stayed focused on God's word. I remember at that time telling the doctors, whatever, y'all just got to catch up with God. Like, He already healed me. He just waiting on y'all to catch up. I remember telling family that I don't know why God, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why God is choosing this to happen in my life, but I know it's happening for a reason. I said, I don't know what that reason is now, but, I knew later in the future that that reason was going to manifest. So, of course, I lost all my hair and everything, had to hold off on school, but I did go on a few months later. I did become in remission, and I did end up growing my hair back. I ended up researching oils and everything, and I ended up making some hair oils to help me with my hair. And then from there, like years later down the line, ended up making a whole hair care line. And so now I have a whole line of hair care products, and I'm helping other women with their healthy hair journey to actually get on that journey. I'm helping them with their problems. And so years ago, if I would have stayed stuck, focused on, oh my God, I have cancer, why did you do this to me? If I would have just stayed there and not been open and knowing and believing in God and believing His word and remaining faithful and knowing that everything happened for a reason, I probably wouldn't have this business right now, because I would have stayed so stuck in that situation, and I probably would have had a whole different outcome. Or another example I will give you is, even years back, I'll go back further than that. I remember when I was just starting off in nursing school, I ran into a situation where I actually had to drop out the first semester, not because I was failing, but because, I would have been failing because I ended up missing a test because I overslept. But I could have stopped then. I could have gave up, became sad about it, but no, I went back to nursing school. I didn't let that stop me. And when I went back to nursing school, I ended up failing that semester because of, I don't know, all this stress or whatever that was going on. But once again, I didn't stop. I went back again. And then when Hurricane Katrina happened, that was even before that. That was another opportunity. I had just started college, and I ended up getting bumped off and all my classes being messed up. I could have stopped then, but I didn't. I went back. So every time the devil threw something at me, instead of sitting there and staying stuck and saying, Oh well, must not be meant to be. Oh well, this keeps happening. I'm just going to go do something else. I'm just going to give up. I didn't do that. I didn't allow these issues, these roadblocks to be permanent. Or like I say, I didn't allow these temporary obstacles to become permanent roadblocks. And a lot of times that is what we as people do. A lot of times we see our situation, we see where we're from. For me, for example, I am from the area of New Orleans. I am from the hood. I didn't grow up with a lot of money. I didn't grow up having money to go to college saved up for me. I had to get student loans. I had to do all these things. I didn't grow up in a family that was, well off and able to do all this stuff, but I didn't let that stop me. I didn't get in my head that, oh my God, because I'm from here, this is all I'm going to ever know. I didn't think that, oh, I'm not ever going to be able to experience something else. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people have in their head that, oh, well, this is where I'm from. I guess this is all for me. I guess I'm not ever going to be able to achieve anything. Oh my God, like that person is able to do so much because they have X, Y, Z. When we don't realize that if we just bet on ourselves, if we just believe in ourselves and change our mindset, we can achieve anything we really truly want to achieve. So when you're going through these problems, when you're going through these issues, I don't care what the issue is. It happens to us all the time, no matter what it is. Just rearrange your mindset. Instead of sitting there focusing on the bad part of it, focus on what good can come out of this situation. Sit down and think about ways where you can make this situation work for you. Sit and think about ways that you can get around this situation. So say, for instance, if you're working on a job, you really, really want this position so bad, or you really, really want this certain job so bad. Say you want a promotion or you want to get a different job and you apply for this job and you don't get it. Instead of sitting there and being so negative and saying, oh man, I really want this job, or well, whatever, forget it. I must not be worthy of this job. Know what? Maybe that job wasn't worthy of you. Maybe God did not want you in that position because maybe he has something else better for you. So instead of sitting there and staying stuck on that situation, think of, okay, that happened, yeah, it did, but what good can come out of this situation? Or instead of, like I heard someone say before, say if you have a job and you end up getting fired from this job, just you end up getting fired. Instead of sitting around being like, man, I lost this job. I don't know what I'm going to do. My life is over. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Instead of sitting at home and being sad and depressed and sulking and mad at the world because you lost that job, sit around and think of positive things that could have came out of you losing that job. Think of ways that you could actually benefit you in your life by losing that job. What other jobs could you really be looking for? Like, what do you really want to do with your life? Did you really want that job anyways? A lot of times the answer is no. Like, were you really, really happy in that job? A lot of times the answer is no. So I want you to sit down and make a list of jobs you really, really want to do. Make a list of the things you know that you're really, really good at. Make a list of the things you would love to do. I always say make a list of the things that you would do even if I didn't pay you to do it. Nobody paid you to do this. You would do this every day, all day. Sit down and think of that list. Sit down and think about that dream job that you actually want. And then focus and concentrate on getting that. Instead of focusing on what was, focus on what's up ahead and what's in your future and what can be. Because a lot of times us as people, we stay so negative and we don't realize that if every day, all day, you're just stuck on negative and you're just sad and depressed and complaining about everything, that is what you're focusing on. So you're going to keep on manifesting those same things because that's what you're focused on. So stop focusing on the problem, like I said earlier. Stop focusing on the pain and focus on God's promise. Focus on God's love. Focus on what God says. Like, he is not going to, oftentimes people think this pain or this problem is there to punish us. And in hindsight, if we just go past it and keep on going and keep on going and don't give up, we're going to realize that all of that pain, all of the problems that were there in the future, they actually happened to make us better. We often realize that all of those things that we went through, if we had not went through those things, we wouldn't be the people we are today. We wouldn't be that stronger person because so many people told us no. Like if people tell you yeah all the time, you're not going to appreciate those yes. I said those yes. You're not going to appreciate the yeses. If everybody's telling you yes all the time, no, you have to get told a whole bunch of no's. Like every successful person out there is going to tell you it wasn't easy. Like they didn't just wake up and magically had $1 million or $1 billion and everything was perfect in their lives. What we often don't know is the struggle that they went through. But we don't see the struggle. We only see the good. We see the success. So we think that it came to them easy. But if you really sit and look at all of these people that are successful in their lives, and included everybody that's watching this video, if you think about the successes you had, there are so many failures that came before that. We all experience failure. We all experience pain. But the difference between the successful people and the unsuccessful people is that the unsuccessful people stay stuck right there. They stay stuck in that failure. They stay stuck focusing on that pain. They stay stuck negative and complaining instead of doing what the successful people do. And what they do is they take that and they learn from it and they move on. They see that, okay, well, yes, that happened, like that failed. Know what? If you have this dream that you want, or you think that, oh, you want this job and you have this plan and you're going to make this happen, and if it doesn't work out, know what? That's good. It didn't work out, because know what? That's one less thing that you have to worry about. That means you're one step closer to whatever that right thing is. So like they say, quitters don't win and winners don't fail. Because if you keep quitting all the time, you're never going to win. How can you get ahead if you keep giving up? That's not going to happen. Like that person that wins that marathon, he or she doesn't win the marathon because he or she kept stopping, because he or she kept giving up. No, they gave up because no matter what happened, they endured through it. No matter if that shoe was falling off their foot, they endured through it. No matter if their knee was hurting, they kept on going. Some of these people will cross that finish line bruised and bleeding. But know what? They crossed the finish line. Why? Because they did not give up. They don't let problems stop them. They don't let failure stop them. They don't let it happen. They keep on going. So next time failure comes up against you, something happens in your life, you're going to look at that problem and be like, okay, yeah, this is what happened. Okay, maybe that didn't work out. Okay, we're going to go back to the drawing board and we're going to figure out how to make it right. Or no, that idea, that didn't come up together. Oh, that person told me no, that's fine. That person didn't give you that loan. That person didn't agree with your idea, but you really, really believe in this idea. That person didn't want to collaborate with you. That's okay. Let them move on out the way so the person that God really meant for you to be with can step on in, so you can get a step closer. Because I promise you, as you keep going ahead, you don't realize that every step you make towards your dream, it is progress. Like here, I am from Houston. So Houston to Virginia, it is a really, really long way away. But if I stay focused on, oh gosh, I can't walk all the way to Virginia, or how am I going to get to Virginia? Like, don't worry about how to get straight up to Virginia if you don't have any idea. Like, without GPS, without a map, I don't know how to get to Virginia. But if I just know what direction Virginia is in, and if I take one step in that direction, just one step, and you keep just taking one step after one step into that direction, you're going to get there. I'll get to Virginia eventually, even if it's just taking one step at a time. If I know how to point that navigation in the right direction, I don't need a phone. I just know, okay, even if I got to follow the stars and everything, as long as I know one that's pointing in that direction, I'll take it one step at a time to get there. Like, say, for instance, to get to New Orleans, where I'm from. Even if I'm trying to get to New Orleans from Houston, like say without my phone, well now I've did it so many times, I know how, but in the beginning I wouldn't have knew how to do that. But I know that, okay, well, I'm in Houston, I know, okay, I could go towards Beaumont, and I know I could go towards Orange, and I know that I could go towards Lake Charles, and I know I could go towards Lafayette, and I know I could go towards Baton Rouge, and I know I could just stay straight to New Orleans, and then I will end up at my home. You just have to take it one step at a time, and you will get to that destination, but you just can't give up. Like, don't allow, if you're driving along that road and oh my God, there's a big old accident, there's a roadblock. Don't just sit there and be like, oh well, I'm just going to stay here. No, you figure out how to get around that roadblock. Or just because there's a delay, just because the light turns red when we're driving, we don't just say, oh well, I guess it ain't meant for me to go to work today. You don't say that. You sit there and wait, because you know that there are going to be delays along the way. There are going to be accidents. There are going to be roadblocks. Life is going to happen. Life happens to everybody. Life is always happening, but we have to learn how to go with the flow and adjust our mindset instead of being stuck thinking the way that we're probably thinking now, instead of being stuck thinking that, oh well, it didn't happen, it must not be meant to be. Oh well, nothing is ever good going to happen in my life. Oh well, that's for them. Like, they're so smart. They know everything to do. I don't know what to do. Instead of thinking like that, be proactive and get out there and learn. Because if all of the people that have success now, if it was so easy to be successful, everybody would do it. All of these people that have what they have now, I'm sure if you ask them in the beginning, did you know how to get here? That answer is going to be no. Nobody knew how to get to that goal. You have to take those steps to get there. And if you want a certain goal in life and you know exactly how to get it, I'm going to need you to want something better. I'm going to need you to think bigger. I'm going to need you to use that imagination that God gave you and think a God-sized dream. Put a God-sized goal in your life. I want you to set goals for yourself that when this thing happens, you're going to know without a doubt in your mind that God did it. You're going to know that it wasn't you, because it couldn't have been you, because you didn't know how to do this. You can't sit up here and be small-minded. Like, think of what God has created. God has created all of this around us. God has created the universe. If God can create something as magical and splendid as that, why are you sitting there asking him for small stuff? Like I say, don't ask God to just bless you with small blessings. God is so powerful. God does big miracles all the time. So why would you sit there and ask him for something as small as, oh God, please, I just want like $5 more. Lord, just please give me like $5 more. No, like, pray bold prayers. Ask for bold things. Not saying that you don't have to ever pray for small stuff, but get bigger than that. Stop asking God for small things. Stop believing in small things. Believe in those big things. Believe in those big life-changing things for you and your family. Like, years ago, I made some prayers and beliefs for God that at the time I had no idea how it was going to happen. That's what I want you to do. I want you to take your vision board or whatever you have, put things on that vision board, ask God for things that you have no idea how it's going to happen. If you have a dream, if you have whatever your goal is, if you have a business idea, if you want to see yourself doing something in life, write that thing down on a piece of paper. Concentrate on it every day, and then don't just write it down. After you write that thing down, write down, okay, what is something I could do right now to get me closer to this thing? And you talk to God about it. Whatever it is, you envision that life that you want. I'm sure you hear people say this all the time. Like, write the vision, make it plain. Write that vision down and you concentrate on it and you meditate on it, but you don't just stare at it and meditate on it, but do something about it. Even if it's just one little thing. Just do one thing that's going to get you closer to whatever that goal is. Say you want to open a business, whatever that business is, and you're like, oh, I don't have no money for this business. Don't get stuck in that, oh, I don't have money. Because so many people that I've talked to, and I asked them about, what is your goal? What do you want out of life? Like, what do you want to do? I always hear awesome, wonderful ideas about businesses and endeavors they want to do. But the number one thing people tell me all the time is that I don't have the money to do this. Like, I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't have the money to do it. If all the successful people out here didn't have the money to do the things that they're now doing, a lot of people wouldn't be doing many of the things they're doing now. It's not always about having the money in the beginning. It's about making steps towards accomplishing that. And I'm telling you, you will be amazed at the things God will do in your life. You will be amazed how those divine connections just come towards you. Years ago, I remember thinking that, oh, I would never be able to travel overseas on the flight and spending like over $1,000 just on the ticket. I'm not going to have the money for that. That was my mindset years ago. I would have been like, I'll never have money to buy this stuff I'm buying for my business, to open a business, to have my own business. I'm not going to be able to do that. That was the old mindset I had. But know what? It happened. And how did it happen? It happened because I took one step and God looked and said, okay, I see you. You're listening, so I'm going to help you out. When God sees that you're taking steps towards stuff and you have your mindset on and you're being obedient and you're taking those steps, God is going to put people, places, and situations in your life. So what I want you to do is I want you to go out there and just make it happen. Stop staying stuck. Don't focus on that problem. Focus on the purpose. Focus on God's word. When you get down, it happens to all of us. When you start feeling down or depressed or feeling like you're stuck and wondering why all this stuff is going on, just remember what God said. Don't worry about what everybody else telling you. Don't even worry about sometimes what you're telling yourself, because oftentimes we're our number one problem. People from the outside, these external factors, these telling us all kind of stuff, but a lot of times it's the things we tell ourselves. We talk ourselves out of so much, and we have to stop doing that. So learn to realize as soon as those negative thoughts start popping up in your head, block it, cancel it, say cancel, mute, buy, erase, delete, control, alt, delete, whatever you want to do. Like, get some mental wording in your mind so that when this stuff comes for you, you can block that and immediately replace it with something positive. Immediately replace it with something positive that you could be doing. Replace it with a positive affirmation you could be saying. Even if you don't believe you're beautiful, say, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm confident. If you're not confident at that time, still say it. Just keep saying, I'm confident, I'm confident. Even if you don't feel like you're successful, say it. I am successful, I am successful, I am determined, I'm worthy, I'm a millionaire. Those things might not be true at that moment, but you just keep saying it to yourself, just like they say about a lie will lie so much that they start to believe it. You know what? The brain works the opposite way too. You just keep telling yourself those positive affirmations, and you're going to see your life start to change. You may not believe it yet, but God believes it. You may not believe in yourself, but believe in God and know that He can and He will walk you into your purpose if you just allow Him to lead you. You just take that one step and you follow Him and watch for those signs. And as He give those signs to you, you just follow it and you stay faithful and know that He will see you through whatever problem, obstacle, whatever roadblock that's happening in your life right now. It is not permanent. It is only temporary. So thank you so much for listening to this. I hope that you got some out of it. Once again, my name is Tanieka Vance Randall. If you would like to connect with me further, you can visit me at teeshairsecret.com. That's www.teeshairsecret.com. Or also you can find me at www.tanieka.randall.com. That's www.tanieka.randall, RANDALL.com. Thank you so much and have a blessed one. And remember, don't hold yourself back. just move forward in life, believe in yourself. And even if you don't believe in yourself, just believe in God, because God will never, ever plant anything in your mind if He will not give you the means to manifest it. Have a blessed day.